What is going on, everybody? This is Dylan with Dylan Talks Tone. This is your weekly gear news update. We've got some really cool stuff. The most expensive guitar pedal, or the most expensive pickup I think I've ever seen, as well as some new Fender stuff that's a little sketchy, but also some new Fender stuff that's really cool. So let's check this stuff out. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the like button because we do guitar stuff almost every day of the week here at Dylan Talks Tone. And yeah. We don't have any sponsors or anything, so check out DylanTalksTone.com for your pickup needs, as well as any of the links below, because we're going to put as much of this stuff we can find down below so that you can shop for it. And it does help out the channel a little bit, so do me a favor and check those things out. Even if you don't buy anything, just click around a little bit. That would be awesome. All right, let's talk about some news. Daredevil Pedals has a pretty cool new pedal. Basically, it's called, let's see, what is this thing called? The Aces Hybrid Amplifier Pedal. You see it here, true bypass switch, huge knob. It's a boost pedal, but it has a germanium transistor in it as well as a silicone transistor, and they say the combination of those two things gives you a nice tone that works well, that you can go from basically a little boost to way crazy, but the tone of this thing is supposed to be really good with those two transistors, putting them in one box. So there you go. Be louder. If you've been around guitar pedals for, I don't know, any reasonable amount of time, you've probably heard of the King of Tone by Analog Man. These pedals are legendary. A lot of people don't understand why until you have one. They're really good. I used to have one and I sold it. It was a mistake. It's probably the best overdrive pedal I've ever had. And in fact, I think if you sell them and then reorder them more than 2 or 3 times, he won't even sell you one anymore because he doesn't want you to like resell them on eBay. I didn't do it for that. I did it because I wanted to buy a Kemper. Long story. Anyway, I'm on a waiting list for another one because they're super good. But the waiting list I think that I'm on was like 4 years at the time that I ordered my new one. So I'm sitting around waiting for it. That's how good these things are, and they really are that good. Well, Analog Man has partnered with MXR to come out with the Duke of Tone. You've probably seen demos of it on the internet already. I think it sounds great. He said that he worked with them to make sure that this thing has real through-hole components and that really does sound like the Analog Man King of Tone. Now, it's only one button and it's a little mini pedal. So I don't know if you've ever seen the Analog Man King of Tone, but it's a double spot deal with 2 buttons. It's got a boost side on one side and a drive side on the other, and you can swap those around. When you order it, you can get one that's higher gain, you can all this stuff. So on this pedal, there's a couple of little switches that give you some of that functionality, but in one little tiny spot with one button. So obviously it's a simpler version. It's an MXR version, but it's also, I think, only $169. I ordered one this morning. They're supposed to come out in like October. I'm really excited about this pedal to try it. I don't know if I'll be able to compare it to the King of Tone because I don't get my King of Tone for I don't know how long. But somebody will. And I think it's going to be good. Even if it's not exactly the same, it's going to be a good pedal, I'm pretty sure, because they went to a lot of work to make sure this thing is good. And I think at this money, you got to get one. Okay, the most expensive pickups in the world. Up to this point, I think the most expensive pickups I could think of are the Seymour Duncan Zephyr. They're made with silver wire. I was just telling Leslie this morning, I think I might have to buy a set of these. I think they're $959, and they have silver wire on them. Are they more awesome? I don't know because I've never played them. I really want to play them. So let me know if you think I should do that. If you would watch that video, put it in the description. That'd be pretty cool. Now, they have been surpassed by a Finnish boutique guitar brand called Ruo Kangas. You may have heard of this before, but they've changed it around. So I don't know if this is a new release or a re-release or whatever, but basically I think maybe I heard that they were going to do it and now it's available, maybe something like that. This is a pickup with tubes in it. Basically what they've done is they've packaged in a really beautiful package, you can see it here, a tube preamp in with the pickup itself, and they say that it gives it a really hi-fi quality, which is interesting. I don't know, it's I'm going to say it's probably kind of a gimmick, but it's probably really cool if you can get one. You have to order the guitar, and then you have to click the box that says $2,200 extra for the tube pickup option. You cannot buy it separate. You have to buy one of their guitars and then tick the box that says get this option in it. So whatever their guitars cost, which I did not look, but this option is $2,200 on top of that. So very limited thing, super niche, but I think it's very interesting. I wonder how good it is. Now, you may be saying, how do you get 300 to 400 volts to the guitar? Well, they say that they've got the tone of the tubes outside of normal operating range of a vacuum tube. So I don't know what they're doing here, or if these are just light bulbs in a guitar. I'm not sure. I wouldn't go that far. They'd probably do something. But it also comes with an XLR cable and then an auxiliary box outside the guitar that you have to put on your pedal board to power this thing and to work with it and get the audio to the pedal board. So there's something there, but I mean, is it a 12AX7? No, probably not. Anyway, very interesting stuff. Very expensive stuff. Very cool stuff. Is it going to become a thing? I doubt it. Probably one of the coolest amps that very few people talk about, unless you're like a Jack White fan. I think Dave Grohl uses one. Does Dan Auerbach use one? One of the Silvertone 1484 Twin 12s. So this is, I think they made them for a few years in the 60s. Really cool amp, looks really cool. It's like a big silver box, really big front panel, really cool sounding amp. They were supposed to be sort of Fender-y, but because they're made with cheaper stuff, they're sort of grungier Fender-y kind of stuff. They sound really good. They're really cool. I really have, that's been on my list of amps that I've always wanted to buy. They're kind of hard to find, and they're hard to find a good one that everything works in it. Well, Silvertone, the company that owns the Silvertone brand, has basically collaborated with Jackson Audio to come out with the Twin 12 pedal. So you see it here, it's kind of got the look of this thing, and it's got some ampy controls on it, and it's supposed to get you there without having to own the amp, which is really neat. These amps have appreciated a lot in value over the last few years, and so I think this might be a more accessible, more common, easier to get version of an amp that's tough to find, but very cool. The hits keep coming with stuff that I want to buy and for myself, and I have not gotten to do it yet. Ola England's brand Solar has come out with a bunch of new guitars. So they've got some multi-scale stuff. They've got a bunch of new colors, matte finishes, 7-string, lefties, all kinds of cool stuff here. You can see a smattering of them. So check out Ola England's stuff, Solar guitars, for the specifics on each one. Roasted maple fretboards is another thing. Of course, when you dive into these guitars, there's a bunch of details, too many to list right now. But at the price points that these things are, I think I really want to try one. They're like $1,100 or somewhere right in there. You can get an Ola England, and it's something that it's on my list. I've just been meaning to do it. There's been some noise about this for quite a while. Schecter and Aaron Marshall intervals have gotten together on a guitar, and it's an Aaron Marshall signature guitar. And these things are not expensive. They're, I want to say, for the 6-string, they're $13.99, which these days for a really good signature guitar, I think is really cool. They are just a basic, very functional guitar. That was the thing that Aaron Marshall really wanted. He wanted a good guitar with good everything. 12 to 16 inch radius, thin C profile, spinny knob for the truss rod down at the foot of the neck, 24 frets, quarter sawn Wenge neck. I mean, this thing is pretty premium for $1,400. And I think it will be a pretty cool guitar. EVH has a new Ash 5150 Deluxe with 2 pickups in it. The EVH Wolfgang pickups, 22 jumbo frets, 12 to 16 radius. The neck profile measures 0.790 at the 3rd fret and 0.81 at the 12th. That's a really skinny neck. That's really thin, like thin this way, like when you're holding it this way. That's a very thin neck. Hockey stick peg head. And you can see it here in this really pretty ash clear finish. If you're into that thing, that's pretty sweet. This is a cool guitar too. And these are not expensive either. Well, they're a little $15.99. So, but this is a really neat guitar. Okay, on to some things that Fender. Okay, it's Fender Japan, and I don't think I can get this guitar here. But this has been another one that's been on my short list for a very long time, and I've never been able to find one. They did these things called the International Color Series. I want to say they did them in like the early 80s. For those of you who remember these, if you have one, put it in the comments. If you've wanted one, put it in the comments. And if you remember anybody else having one, put it in the comments. These are really cool. So these are a Japanese guitar. They come in these crazy colors. The yellow, the orange, the blue, the red, and I don't know if some kind of baby food tan. I don't know what international. Anyways, I don't understand that color. But the rest of them are really, really cool. The Maui blue is the one on my list. I've always wanted a Maui blue Japanese Strat. The only difference I can think of, and I don't know what the options here are, but the Maui blue that I saw back in the day had a rosewood fretboard. And so the one in this picture has a maple fretboard. So I would want one with a rosewood. But really, really sick. Black pickups. One of my buddies, actually, one of my local friends here in Georgia, has the red one. And I've worked on it. I've changed pots and stuff. I've worked on the guitar. And it's a really, really good guitar back in the 80s. So they're doing exactly the same thing. They use the same technical drawings. They use the same color swatches to bring these things back. The problem is that they're only in the Japanese market, which sucks. So hopefully, Fender, if you're paying attention, and maybe you are, since I might have pissed you off a few weeks ago. Anyways, if you're watching this, please bring these things out in America, because I really, really want one. The blue one. The Maui blue one with a rosewood fretboard. Okay, and on to things, so that I don't understand sometimes Fender. Okay, well, anyway. The Clash, Joe Strummer, right? He's had that, was a 66 Tele, used to be Sunburst, and he spray painted it black, and then of course it's all Relic, and right, and then of course he passed away. So everybody's, super famous guitar, this Joe Strummer Tele. They did a $15,000 custom shop one. They did these before too. They were like, I want to say was it in the mid 90s or ish or something like that, where they did a Joe Strummer replica thing. And honestly, it was kind of terrible. Like the relicing and stuff on it, it looked like a 10-year-old did it with a Sharpie. Like it just wasn't very, I don't know. It wasn't very good. My buddy in Nashville has one. And it's a cool guitar if you're a fan, but it's just, I don't think it was done that well. Anyway, this is about a $1,500 version of this guitar. I'm pretty sure. Oh, $1,800 version of this guitar. That is all Relic-y, and it's basically a 66 Tele, except that Joe Strummer had changed out the saddles to six saddles to intonate a little bit better, and 725 radius, the normal 66 Tele kind of stuff. So it's pretty much a model of that. Of course, they made some pickups to sound good in the thing for $17.99. Would you buy this? This is an interesting one because if you are a fan, you probably want this guitar. The thing is everybody knows it's a Joe Strummer Tele. Like, if you get a Kingfish Tele, it's just a purple Telecaster, right? Like, it's a cool guitar. If I play one of these Fiores or even a Silver Sky, it's just a guitar. It's got somebody's name on it, but it's a guitar. This thing, you can tell from 50 feet away that it's a Joe Strummer replica. It's kind of like playing an EVH guitar on stage. Would you do that? Like, is that a thing? I know some people have a thing about this. I don't know. It's a weird one. It's a cool guitar. I don't want it. Do you want it? Would you play it? It's an interesting one. Anyway, there you go. The Joe Strummer Tele for $17.99. In less than 2 weeks, we are going to be in Denver, Colorado, working with Texas Toast Guitars and doing the Build an Ultimate Guitar project. And basically, you're going to show up on Monday. You're going to start with a block of wood, and you're going to be able to build a guitar like this, or with a Tele body if you want that. Roasted maple fret neck, Wenge fretboard, carbon fiber inside there, the cool hot dog hemispherical frets, glow in the dark, lumen laid dots on the side. But you cut this out from a piece of wood, you paint it, you build it in the shop, and they ensure that the results, usually, I mean, I've never seen a bad one come out of there. Even if you've never built a guitar before, it's a pretty cool thing. The cool part about this particular one is that on the Wednesday of that week, you're going to wind your own Telecaster bridge pickup and your own P90 neck pickup for your guitar. You're going to actually learn how to do it yourself. I'm bringing a bunch of stuff out there. We're going to be in the van. We're going to go out there for a week, and we're going to do this. Now, on top of that, because we have a spot, there's a couple spots left. We're going to take one of those spots. We weren't going to do this before. The idea was you have to go out there and you have to build it. But we're going to take one of those open spots and we're going to build a guitar in one of those open spots and allow one person to buy one of these for themselves. Now you can pick the color and pick the color of pickguard and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so let me know if that's something that you want to do. There's a contact form on my website. You can contact me and we can talk about how to get you one of those spots and get you one of these sweet guitars. Anyway, so that's that. Also, do me a favor and hit the like and the subscribe button because we have some cool new videos coming out. We have another video about the 40th anniversary Fender stuff coming out, Squire stuff coming out on Monday. We got some really cool new stuff next week. We got a couple of things to review. Also, we got a live stream on Thursday, which you know about, I'm sure, that you're going to dig. So thanks for hanging out. And I guess we'll see you tomorrow night on our live stream. And shoot me a message on my website about doing this.